It's a little warm today. It's 93. I'm headed to a game. Tonight is field hockey. But I've noticed a trend with this heat. It gets around, in Ohio, it gets around 90 degrees and 90, 95, and they have a heat warning telling everyone to, keep your pets inside and things like that. It's changed over the years because I remember being in Texas and they didn't give a heat warning until it was about 110. Alabama, I never ever saw a heat warning. Keep your dogs inside. You just kind of knew. No one had to tell you to, keep pets inside and keep hydrated and things. But when I was growing up, it really was go outside at the break of dawn when the sun came up. You go outside, you play, and you play all day until dinner time. You didn't get to come in and out of the house and just lounge. Well, first of all, we didn't have air conditioners, so a lot of times it was cooler outside than it was inside. But that brings up today's story, which is how I came to pick cotton in Alabama. Everybody has their first job. That one happened to be mine. And it, again, go back to the videos. It's gonna tell you from the start of why I'm a hustler and why I do some of the things I do. So there weren't the place that I lived in, there was really nothing around us at the time. There was no real McDonald's or paper routes or anything like that. What we would do is we had to figure out stuff. I lived around most of my cousins, a lot of my family, and I had just turned, I think I was turning 15. I hadn't turned, I wasn't 16, so I think I had just turned, I was 14, turning 15, something like that. But my cousin came, said, "Hey, do you want to make some money?" And of course, yeah, I want to make some money. How can we make some money? And he said, "Well, I've got this, Greg from school." It was a couple guys from school. Say, "Hey, do you know these guys? There's this farmer, and what you have to do is when they grew cotton. Well, when they grow cotton, there is commercial cotton, and then there is wild cotton that grows as well, and it grows like a weed. Well, they can't cultivate that cotton, the weed cotton out, or the wild cotton, without killing the good cotton. That has to be done manually." Now, I don't know, it's been decades since this has happened, and I've heard of some people that still do some things, but I don't know if they still have that process where the wild cotton has to be picked out by hand. So I told my mother and father about it. I think it was paying like $60 a day, something like that. And for the 1980s, that was pretty good. So it's paying you $60 a day, but how are you going to get there? I had to take a a bike. There was no bus system, and no one was waking up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to take me over to a house to get a ride from another guy to the field. And then the guy that was the farmer, he would take you out to whatever field you were going to work on that day. So it's essentially like a country bus. You had 3 different, stops that you had to make. So my mom and dad, they were like, I don't know about this. I really don't know, the stereotype and everything, but I'm hungry. I need school clothes. I'm at the age where kids are making fun of you. I'm at the age where you need some spending money, and it's nothing like today. So we're not going to get into the spoiledness and the softness of everyone today. But it all happened. I used my power of selling, because I had been selling those damn apples so much and a lot of other things. And I convinced them to let me do it. They said, well, if you're going to wake up that early and do it and keep at it, have at it. I don't really think that they thought that I would actually go through with it, let alone for the whole summer. So every morning at about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I got up, got showered, would ride my bike. It was 4 or 5 miles to this guy's house, to my buddy's house. My cousin was with me. And this wasn't, so before we go on, because you probably think, oh, well, it's just black people. No, it was blacks and whites. We were together. We were singing the Martin Luther King song. It was blacks and whites in this field, boys picking cotton, young men picking cotton. Everybody's excited for their first day, and we messed up because we had on short sleeves, and a couple guys had on shorts. I had on jeans. I never have really been into shorts, so I had on jeans. But what we quickly found out was when we got out to this field, now it's 90 to 95. If anyone knows of Huntsville, Alabama heat, it's 90 to 95 in the summer. It doesn't run any 88s and all that. That's a low temp. So you think that you're, being cute and not wearing any sleeves. But what happens is when you go to pick that raw wild cotton and you pull it out of the ground, you're going in between other cotton stalks. And cotton, if anybody knows, I know you have cotton t-shirts and cotton sheets and all this stuff, and it's soft and silky. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. Cotton is silky like you feel on the outside, but it has these seeds and husks in it. And it comes up from a pod that busts open. And that pod has these little jagged edges around it as well. And so when you're sticking your hand in there, you're hitting these little barbs and the leaves, and it gets little micro cuts and scrapes. It's not too pleasant. We started out, and after the first day, we were raw. My grandfather had given me his coveralls. I like coveralls too, but I'm gonna wear my Uncle Willie's a little bit more. My Uncle Willie wore overalls. My grandfather wore coveralls, and he gave me a pair of coveralls that he had sent from Ohio earlier that year. Didn't even think that I would need them, but they came in handy. So the next day, we go out. Mind you, this is 95-degree heat. We have I think I had a Boy Scout canteen with water, and we'd have to walk in to get water. But I put on these coveralls, and you're just sweating the whole day, and you're just working and sweating. So I can't identify with a lot of people that say it's hot or I can't do this. I do not identify with that at all. I'm a 14, about to be 15-year-old boy in a field 10 to 12 hours a day, riding his bike there, working to pick this wild cotton in coveralls, 100-degree heat. Then once I get off and take my country bus back, I then have to bicycle home, eat dinner, get in bed, so on and so forth. I did that for a summer. That's why I can't get a person who says, I won't work at McDonald's. Oh, that's beneath me. Shut up. That pisses me off. Before I even get on a tangent about that, that's part of the way that I'm built. And anybody who wants to laugh and say I wouldn't do that or whatever, hey, have at it. It is funny. I enjoy it now, but you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it then, you couldn't do it now. You soft as table butter. So with that being said, that's just one of the stories that I wanted to get out today. I'm gonna put a couple out because I have an hour drive to get to this game, and then I will have an hour drive back. So right now I'm gonna get off and probably work on my other unedited, uncut stories. If you like this, if you didn't like this, hit either the thumbs up or thumbs down button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? It's like a set it and forget it. Just hit the subscribe button and let's go on. But I hope you're having a good day. I'm getting ready to have fun running this game in this mild weather. And Big Uncle talk to you soon.